There's a pop culture phenomenon sweeping the internet right now. You might have seen it. It's called first world problems. And it points out and somewhat mocks the things that we gripe and complain about, while the rest of the world struggles to find food and safe water and proper medications. It shares examples such as people complaining about the Wi-Fi at Starbucks being down so they can't get their email. And we'll hear people complain that the person ahead of me in line at Target needed a price check and it took 5 minutes. There's an endless list of these. The other day, I heard someone in the grocery store standing with a grocery cart chock full of food respond to the question, "How was your Christmas?" by saying, "Oh, it was kind of a bust. I wanted an iPhone and my stupid husband got me an Android." We live so far away from that manger in Bethlehem, so very far away. And perhaps distance has caused us to lose some perspective. Perhaps that distance has somehow disconnected us a little bit. I heard recently that 80% of everything we hear in a day is negative. How does that not affect us? It has to. We seem to have mastered the art of criticizing, condemning, and complaining. No matter how amazing life is, no matter how good and wonderful things are, no matter what a miracle life itself is for us, we still seem to find things to gripe about. This isn't how Christmas people with Christmas hearts ought to respond. The Scripture gives us a wonderful recipe for how to find happiness by taking the cues from the shepherds and from Mary. The shepherds hear this news and they're amazed. They can't wait to go tell everyone. You know, life for a shepherd wasn't all that hot. It was kind of a miserable job in miserable conditions, very low pay, just enough to sustain themselves. And they hear this news and they are thrilled. They are amazed and filled with wonderment, and they respond by going out and sharing glad tidings of great joy. Amazement. And Mary, wow. Now, if anyone has something to complain about, it's this girl. She didn't ask for any of this. It wasn't her idea. She didn't ask to get pregnant and carry this child for 9 months. It wasn't her idea to travel to Bethlehem across rugged terrain only to deliver her baby in the dark of night amidst a bunch of animals. And then a bunch of strangers show up, drop in. They don't even call ahead. They didn't have iPhones or Androids. And shepherds don't bathe. And here they are, showing up. And what does she do? Luke's gospel tells us she held it all in her heart and she reflected. How wonderful is that? How beautiful is that? How much can we gain if in the midst of chaos in our world, we just reflect? We can't change the world. We can only change how we respond to it. We know that. What a wonderful gift it is to just take some time, step back, and reflect. But in our busyness, in our hectic lives, our hectic, fast-paced schedules, and all of the noise and distractions around us, we often don't just step back and reflect. Instead, we get caught up in all of the whining and complaining and negativity. The shepherds, in their amazement, Mary, in her reflection, show us what Christmas people with Christmas hearts ought to do. So if you're still looking for a New Year's resolution, may I suggest these two things: to be amazed and to reflect. To be amazed at the gift of life itself, the wonderment of having divine love live among us, with us, and within us. And then to reflect on what that means. Amazement and reflection. We're entering an election year here. Our world will soon be awash in all sorts of negativity. It's going to get ugly. And if we're not careful, we will get washed away with it. And we will become people who focus on faults rather than fruits, who are preoccupied with problems rather than possibilities. The antidote is this Christmas. The antidote is to make the promise to be people who are amazed and who reflect. To be people with Christmas hearts.